Hey guys.
Welcome to our first episode of Marriage Explained.
Yeah, so in this episode, what we're going to do is when are you having kids?
I don't know about you guys if you're like dating someone or if you've been dating them for a while or if you're married, how many times you're asked the question, when are you going to have kids?
It seems like that conversations is always brought up every family event. They're always like, you guys should really have kids. And my mind goes to, well, who's going to help us pay for those kids?
Seriously, daycare? Like, it's like half of a mortgage. That's insane. And like all of you guys right now that are quarantined with your kids, you don't seem that happy to be at home with your kids. Like, why are you telling us to have them? That makes no sense.
Exactly, because like the number one issue I find that I've seen with a lot of parents is childcare. Childcare is one of the big issues. I've also heard a lot of people say how much of a joy it is to have kids and how happy they are and how fulfilled they are in life. We definitely want children. We're going to have children, but we're happy being tinks right now.
And if you don't know what tinks mean, two incomes, no kids. What are other reasons why we're glad we're waiting?
Other reason why we're glad we're waiting is because of we've lived a life where at one point we lived paycheck to paycheck. When I was working a job where I was commission only, it was a hard, really trying time for us.
Those were
Relationship
dark
was
times.
like I had to do anything and everything to make sure we made rent at our previous apartment. So cascading that, I can only imagine what we would have done if we had a child involved or she was pregnant during the time when I was really struggling financially and I had to not only work my regular job but Uber Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then find times during the week to Uber again just to keep up with our overhead.
I agree with all that. But I also would like to point out that we have been married for not even 6 months at this point. Like, we want to travel. We
Yeah.
want to have some cocktails.
Yeah, right now, typically
Shout out
drinking
to
cocktails.
Ashley Taylor for these glasses.
Great cocktails right now.
We like going out from time to time. Not saying you can't go out when you're a parent, but we like to do it frequently. We want to go on more extravagant vacations. There's so
Yeah.
many other things that we want to do. But most importantly, when I go to the wine store, the liquor store, and I'm buying 2 bottles of wine, where does the baby go?
Exactly. Like we just like the flexibility in our lives, the ability to do what we want when we want and pretty much how we want to do it. Not worrying about it's selfish of us to think that way, but I've also heard a lot of older people tell us to wait at least 3 to 5 years to bring a child into a marriage. I've heard that the first 5 years of marriage is the hardest part because we're trying to get to know one another. We're trying to get to know each other's like good and bad, yes and no's. I'm still learning. I learn new things about her every day about what she likes, what she doesn't like, how she like her eggs in the morning. So
It's getting better at that.
it takes time to learn your partner. So I want to learn her first and then bring a child in once I've learned it. Because then I got to relearn her again. And she has to learn me over again.
Yes, and this isn't to say that if you had kids like right when you got married, or you had kids before you got married, or you just aren't getting married and you have children, this is not a judgment on you. I think you're spectacular, and
Right.
if you need a sitter, Leslie loves the kids that aren't hers. But that's just not where we're at in our journey, and we again want that one day, but we are not there.
Exactly. We also want to let people know who are tinks like us and newly married and not sure they're ready for kids. It's okay to wait. It's
It
okay
is so
to
okay.
to build. We definitely want to have children one day, but we really enjoy our time together and learning one another so that way we can figure out each other more. Adding another human that I'm responsible for,
Like a whole human
not a half a human, but a whole one.
that has to like eat and
Sleep,
poop and sleep and they cry
and they want
and they
toys
want
and things.
toys. babies.
I love to spoil our nieces and nephews. I love to spoil children. So I want to continue to spoil them until I have my own.
Agreed. This is how dedicated we are to not having children right now. So last week, because of everything happening with this national or international pandemic, I got a call from my doctor's office that said that my birth control shot had to be rescheduled. And I called her back and I was like, listen, miss, I might be quarantined with my husband for 14 days. This shot has to be in me by the 20th. I need you to work with me here.
Exactly. So that is... yeah.
Well, anyways, we are so excited to be able to share a little bit more about us and just really be real about what it feels to be young and married. And we plan on bringing some other people on to talk about their experience.
Yeah.
And then if there are any topics that you guys want us to talk about, we're pretty open. We're pretty real.
Yeah, we're real. We'll talk about anything you want to hear about. Please, mention that in the comments below or whatever. If you've seen us on Facebook or any other platform, also mention those in the comments also too. And we can definitely talk about those experiences with us. We just thought that talking about when we were having kids or kids in general was a good starting point for us because that's the one question we get as a new couple.
Agreed. But in the meantime, if you're quarantined with your bae, don't feel like you can't go out and make those Corona babies.
Just make sure you don't name them Corona.
Yeah,
You might confuse it with a beverage.